ABC 15 anchor and Air Force veteran Craig McKee joins us in studio with the concerns being raised over the change in the about face that just happened. Craig.
Yeah, Javier and Faye, there are a lot of moving parts today on this rule. The VA put in place this rule on Wednesday, has now suddenly put a complete halt on the entire thing. We'll have more on that in just a moment. First, this rule, the VA said, clarified how disability ratings should account for the effects of medication on service-connected conditions.
So what they're saying is, if you have a disability rating, let's say 40%, and then you take medication, then they can reduce your service-connected condition because you've improved because you were taking medication. So instead of a 40% rating, you might get a 30% rating for taking medication, which would reduce your compensation. That's absurd. And the reason is now if you did that, you would incentivize people not to get better because they wouldn't want to jeopardize their rating. And that's not how the system should work. You should incentivize people to get better, and you should disincentivize people who don't get better. And so the idea is, what they should be doing is, if you take medication or you get treatment and you get better, maybe you get a bonus, because if you get better, you're going to use less VA healthcare because you're better. So they should take a preventative outcome approach rather than what they're doing here.
The change said that examiners must evaluate veterans based on their actual level of functional impairment in daily life, rather than estimating how severe a condition might be without treatment or medication. I spoke with Shannon Huff from Shield of Sisters, an organization that helps veterans who've suffered from military sexual trauma. She said that this ruling didn't help veterans on many levels and was very concerned of the potential ramifications for our veteran community.
It's going to impact the survivors of military sexual trauma considerably. They might not go and get medication because it's going to change their disability rating. They might not look for help with their addictions or with their night terrors or things like that because they're afraid that that disability is going to go away. And a lot of them rely on that because some of them can't even still leave their house after this has happened to them. So it's just really unfortunate that it wasn't taken into consideration.
So since this
That's exactly what I was just saying. It's like you're disincentivizing people to get better. And that's exactly the opposite of what we should be doing.
This rule was posted, veteran organizations have pushed back hard against the VA. Then just before noon today, the VA Secretary Doug Collins sent this message out saying, effective immediately, VA is halting enforcement of the interim final rule. He goes on to say VA will continue to collect public comments regarding the rule, but it will not be enforced at any time in the future. Now that open public.
How about we just burn that law and make sure it never sees the light of day ever again as a discussion?
Public comment runs through the 20th of April. VA leaders originally said the immediate change here was necessary to prevent delays in benefits decisions and avoid compensating veterans for disability levels that they are not currently experiencing. Now, I put a link to the ruling if you'd like to add your own public comments to this. It's over on abc15.com, also on my social media profiles.
I'd encourage all veterans to make a public comment on the official VA website just to have your voices heard. That's why we live in a great country like America where you get to do that.